Welcome to another interesting Commodity to Brand podcast. Today's guest is someone who has spent more than 3 decades shaping the construction chemical industry in India. From working with some of the world's leading construction material companies to now leading Mapei India, he has seen the transformation of the industry from basic materials to highly engineered building solutions. He has witnessed the evolution of infrastructure, tunneling, construction technology, and the increasing importance of innovation in building materials. Sanjay Bhalla, Managing Director of Mapei India, welcome to the Commodity to Brand podcast. Sanjay, you spent over 30 years in the construction chemical business. Can you just elaborate on the journey that you've been undergoing?
After graduating engineering 92, so the basic thing was like every civil engineer thinks that when he is in a college that I want to become a government officer because it's a passion like people used to have. But that time the civil engineering was not on a very rising phase as compared to the IT industry or the electronic and comm industry. But I got a job with on the site which was basically a tunneling and mining site around close to Tibet border. After that, coming back to Delhi, I found an opportunity in the building materials. So I found that it was more passionate to talk to the people, do the practically things, handle versatile products. So the journey started when I joined Master Builders Technology. And within 30 years, what I learned in the college was totally different in the field. You learn books, you learn theories. But when you go to the field, you learn that like what a customer wants, what the environment wants, what India wants. Because what is written in the books is like what has been done on the papers. But when it comes to the field, it is a total different world altogether.
Right.
So more experience, more getting involved into the different product range, more involved into the different civil engineering projects. It was a different experience altogether, and I got passionate about this industry. And with the growth in the 30 years working with the different multinationals, learning new technology, and the journey was really, really, like I would say, great. And the achievements have been tremendous, and I learned a lot of new things which I could not have learned practically onto the field.
Right. 30 years is a long time, and kudos to you to have, stuck to the same industry for such a long time. So tell me, 30 years back, the ecosystem, how was the ecosystem then and how is it now?
Before 30 years, like India was like on a growing phase, not at that phase what India has like grown in last 10 or 12 years, but that was in a growing phase. Still, like we were focusing on roads, a minor part, or bridges, or highways, or some buildings. But when the foreign FDIs came into the picture and a lot of developments, government started putting funding into it. Because one thing good about India is I have been hearing from the world, India is a populated country, but that's become a boon for us. The more the population we have, the more demand we have. And in that demand, we need more houses, we need more infrastructure, we need more like systems for the people.
Right.
They need more sanitation, they need everything more. And our demand and supply are met within the country. And this has been encashed by the government, current government, which is like almost now 15 years old. They've seen that if I make houses for everybody, and that became an opportunity for a civil engineer. And that time, like it was considered as a normal, maybe a part of the construction system. But now it has become a part of it has become a necessity for everybody to use the construction chemicals.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. You know what? People used to point fingers at us for us being overpopulated has actually become a boon.
Yes.
And it's paying rich dividends now
Yes.
to a lot of organizations and even the country itself.
Yeah, because if you see China, like China was number one in population. Okay, they have now started controlling the population, but they have become the like largest supplier of the manpower, largest supplier of the products to the global. Same like the India is going, what China was going through a couple of years back. Now India is like I would say, the most attractive hub of the global economy. And our economy is now fourth or fifth in the worldwide.
Right.
Whereas if I go to Europe, if you go to anywhere they are saturated, but we still need much more than what we have constructed.
Right. True. So Sanjay, you've been with companies like Sika, BASF, Mapei. What are the biggest shifts that you've seen in organizations?
Okay, first thing is these all the multinationals are technology driven. They are not the buyers of the technology, they are themselves a technology. Now, working in these three multinationals, whether it is when like Sika is like a, I would say, a shareholder based company with the board of directors and all that. MAPA is an ownership based company, whereas Master Builders or BSF has been like taken over by a lot of different global players. So they have developed a brand, sold the brand. Whereas Sika has bought the brands, made them as their brand, whereas Mapai has themselves owned the brand and secured their brand. So that is why working with Mapai for the last 15 years has been like a ownership based feeling. You have become a family to the company and it seems like it's your own brand.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me, did you ever envision yourself, working in the construction chemicals business? You started off in tunneling and as civil engineering, and now you landed up in the chemical construction. Did you, was this a planned move, or was something that happened by chance?
It was not a planned move, to be very frank, but when I joined Master Builders Technology, I found that when you work at a particular site, you are focused on a particular unit. Like whether you work in a building, you are more specialized about building. When you work in a tunnel, you are more specialized about tunnel. When you work in a bridge, you are more specialized about bridge. But when you work with a building material, like a construction, you have got product basket to cater to all the five segments. You become a good civil engineer. You become a good business development person. You become a good manager. You have to handle the finances because ultimately the business works on the revenues.
Right.
And the revenue comes from the profitability.
True.
So you become a overall good manager who work on a different segments to become a single unit to handle the things himself.
Right.
So that was a good chance. And frankly, it was the technology which was coming up and developing more and more industries coming in, and the chance became a more passion and it became more of my career.
Right. So for a lot of people within the industry and more so outside, this construction chemicals is a very vague word. They don't understand much about it. Can you elaborate on how construction chemicals is playing a major role in today's construction business?
Yeah, like you are absolutely right. When we really interact with the people, fresh people, generally they think that it's a salesman job, but it's not. It's a techno-commercial job.
Okay.
You go to the site, you convince the customer first is technically. Earlier, it used to happen that when you go to the site, you used to do a lot of concrete mix designs. Maybe a construction chemical is a better concrete designer, maybe a person at the site itself.
Right.
So you are a more civil engineer, and you tend to have more technical backup knowledge, support system to the site as compared to what is happening at the site. He is particularly focused on a limited segment, but a construction chemical manufacturer has focused on like multiple segments to give a solution not only for a particular one solution but for an entire solution and support system.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So what problems do construction chemicals actually solve for builders, for infrastructure contractors, and for the economy as such?
Now, when you make a building, definitely what generally comes in the mind of a builder, like I would divide first of all the industry into two parts: is a building and an infrastructure.
Right.
Building is what we see a growth in the metro cities, and infrastructure is what we see the growth in the remote parts. When you go to the mountains like Himalayas, or you go into the remote places, villages and all that, there comes tunnels, there comes, and when you are excavating a tunnel inside Himalayas, it's not an easy job.
Right.
You have to see the rock conditions, you have to see the geological conditions, you have to see that the local geology should not get disturbed. Wildlife should not get disturbed. So you have to make a structure as per that. And also, like the water, which is the major, like we have seen a lot of like the Kedarnath collapse, what we saw. And now they are making a road, railway track from Rishikesh to Karan Prayag, which is the 112 kilometer tunneling along with the bridges. And then now we are starting the USBR, which is Udhampur, Srinagar, Baramulla railway line,
Right.
which is from Jammu Kashmir connecting. This has all been done with a civil engineering, and construction chemicals have played a major role in that by providing waterproofing to the structures, strength, durability, longevity, everything to the structure. And the bridge, still we have the highest bridge which is built on the Chenab. It
Yeah.
is not made only with a traditional civil engineering. It has been construction chemicals that has enhanced, made the concrete durable, and made the bridge to stand in its structure. Then comes to the buildings. Buildings which are in the metros, cities. Now in metros, like they make beautiful structures, Statue of Unity. You cannot make a statue stand vertical, which is on the iron, simply by they have to be fixed with certain chemicals. They have to be fixed with certain. They have to make. You have to design the structures. Again, construction chemical plays a very important role. Now metros, which are coming across the country.
Right.
I think India is going through a
Revolutionary change.
revolutionary change with metros coming all the like places, whether you talk about Delhi Metro, Chennai Metro, Mumbai Metro, all are underground structures. You are excavating beneath the ground, the houses are still intact above the ground, so something is going inside the ground.
Right.
So there, the construction chemicals, apart from the civil engineering, play a very important role, because you have to consolidate a structure which is going inside the ground,
Right.
not above the ground, because otherwise the whole system will collapse.
Collapse, yeah.
Yes. So these construction chemicals play a very important role. Now, lastly, we are a company where we are a country where the coastal line is very big. Ports. The ports are always getting like corroded, but we have jetty systems. So they how to repair those jetties, how to extend the durability of those jetties, how to extend the port systems. The construction chemicals again play a very important role in enhancing the life and durability of these
Right.
structures.
So now I understand the importance of construction chemicals in today's construction environment.
Yeah.
I mean, they're becoming a part and parcel of almost every other project.
Yeah, initially like it was 1 to 2%. Like 30 years back, you used to go and sell the construction chemicals. It was like a pull, but now it has become a push. Like generally, any organization or any contractor or any technical institutes, when they make any structure, whether it is infrastructure, buildings, or whatever it is, it has become mandatory to put construction chemicals, and there are approved vendors, approved brands, approved specification in which the construction chemical properties are being mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is Mapei playing a role in this entire thing?
Mapei has been like, I would say, first is not a product supplier, it is a total complete system and a solution provider. It starts their journey from like getting the specifications, then following up with the specifications, selling the product right, and lastly is application of the product into the right. Because if you see as a total basket in an application of any civil engineering, 70% is the application which plays a very important role, and 30% plays only the product role.
Right.
If I am selling a very good product, but it is not applied properly, it's a A or B component which is not mixed properly, the whole system goes for a waste. So it has to be applied properly. The Mapei gives a proper technical support with a technical team. It goes to the site, inspects it, and then gives a proper solution, and the entire application of the system is being supported, and so that the end contractor also does a right job.
So typically, what is the journey right from getting an RFP for a particular project to tendering, to approvals, to construction, to fulfillment? What is the kind of journey and what is the kind of time periods that you do?
It takes 1 to 1.5 years to making the specifications, to creating a tender, and then to really going on to the contract, then to like selling the product, execution of the product, and then finalization of the finalization of the application. But it is like awarding of the contract. Then application and completion of the project takes another 1 to 1.5 years, depends upon the funding of the project. But generally it takes total right from 0 day to handing of the project is 2 to 3 years.
Okay, so that's quite a long gestation period.
Yeah, that's a long, because in this we have to work on a vision. You cannot say that it's like I go to a particular retail shop, buy a piece of soap, take a bath for 1 month, and now I go and buy a next bath. It's like because you are playing with the structure.
Right.
I still remember when we started, civil engineering was considered to be like when I am like a Dolo 650 or a paracetamol. I go to a chemist shop, and when really it comes to heart attack, I go to a cardiac specialist. So civil engineering, and still in India, like when you go to a normal structure, a typical mason will come. I have used this kind of system for last 20 years and none have left. And 80%, like small houses still believe they're mason, but now at least structures have started going toward the specialist.
Right.
We are not now still, they don't go to the chemist shop and pharmaceutical and take a paracetamol and get the solution done.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. So many building materials, eventually become commoditized.
Yes.
Right, and therefore, price starts playing a
Very important.
pivotal role in decision making on the other side of the table. Right? Does this happen in construction industries as well?
It happens like apart from cement, steel, which play a very important role in construction because it's a big part of the
Right.
total infrastructure. They play a very important and the percentage of the revenue is very high. Now in construction chemicals also, when it comes to a special technology, small additives or any normal adhesives, they become like a price sensitive.
Right.
But when it comes to a very specialized application, it becomes a specialized applicator and specialized product, and there the price does not play. And like as I was telling earlier also, when really structure goes on a deterioration and you have to repair it, it is like a case of when a person is going on a cardiac problem, he specialized goes to a cardiac specialist,
surgery.
cardiac surgery.
Yeah.
There, if a cardiac surgeon says that you have to pay this, he will, just to safeguard his life, he will pay this.
Yeah.
Similarly, like with the civil engineering, like if the structure is going under a deterioration and they have to rectify it and they cannot play because tomorrow anything falls off, a lot of people will be there. So there the specialized organizations play. There you cannot repair with a normal cement sand and then tell that now it is done. Again the things will go for it. And similarly, like in a specialized jobs like tunneling and mining or underground structures like metros and all that, they go for a specialized applications. But when it comes to normal additives, you might have seen a lot of these trucks which are moving
Yes.
with a lot of concrete. It has slightly becoming more commodity.
Right. So how do you break this cycle of price value, and how do you try to command a premium? What does Mapei do to command a premium?
First thing is consistency. What has happened is a lot of people have started, because the way industry has grown, people have started manufacturing their own construction chemicals because ultimately everything is available on chat GPT
Right.
and artificial intelligence. But consistency of the product and then maintaining and deliverables, logistics, back office support, these are the multinationals or Mapei which generally have got a reputation and they keep it right on the track, and no mismatching the formulations depending upon the price variation. Whether you deliver the product at X or X minus 5% or X plus 5%, the quality of the product has to be consistent in the manufacturing unit and delivered to the customer. No play with the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
So consistency in product is what you said.
Consistency, product, and what happens is since I have been in this industry from 30 years or with Mapei for 15 years, now the opportunities for the young or the talent has become very high in India. Relationship long-term matters a lot.
Right.
A customer, generally a government department like defense or anybody, they make a structure for 100 years. So after 5-7 years, there might be a problem, there may not be a problem. If there's a problem, he generally would love to call a person who has been involved 5 years back. So that is also what Mapei has been, employee retention. So
Okay.
they have been quite successful in that. So same employee who has worked with him for the last 5 years, the problem comes, I am here to solve your problem. It's not a matter of like whether the product is worked or not, but if it is a civil engineering problem or it's a construction chemical problem, we are here to solve it.
Right. So typically, I have noticed, Sanjay, that in categories and businesses where price starts becoming a playing an important role in decision making, then a product is interchangeable. Then brands really don't matter. It's product A, B, C, D, whichever gives me the cheapest price, I'll sort of select that. Does that happen in your category?
It happens, but years back when I started my career in this industry, you must have seen that you develop a technology, there is a product life cycle. It goes 2 years, you make good amount of money, and by the time competition comes, it becomes stable and then it falls down, then you develop a new product. But now, last 10 years, it has happened that the product life cycle starts, a company launches a product, within next 2 months, the market is flooded with the competitors with low prices. So, same like iPhone. You should know how to, iPhone 16 and iPhone 17, there is a marginal difference between that.
Right.
But the trust on iPhone is still better as compared. And there are certain products where you have to work on certain prices. But if you are able to enhance the properties of the product, there comes your R&D facilities. Mapei spends 5% of its profit turnover into R&D. Keep on developing the products, and 80 years old organization who has been developing and working on the products with the global raw materials, global aggregates, global environment. So they keep on modifying the products to meet this. Now, second thing which has come is sustainability.
Right.
Like people are going for the green, LEED, green, IGBC, whatever it is. So we are also coming up with a new concept of zero. So you have to have low carbon content so that at least you are able to save the environment. There you can demand some more prices, but you have to upgrade the technology, and change is inevitable now.
Right.
Earlier you can sustain your product for 3 years and make money, but now you have to be very fast and very prompt in responding to the market needs.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what I'm understanding from you, Sanjay, correct me if I'm wrong, that reliability, consistency, and innovation are very important in maintaining long-term equity in the B2B space. Is that right? Is my
I
understanding
would
correct?
reframe innovation as innovation. Invent
Okay.
and innovate.
Superb. Okay.
Yeah.
Innovation. Okay.
Yes. Okay. It's not a like word from the
I know.
grammar, but because you invent a product and then it's like an innovation into the industry.
Nice. Interesting. That's a nice coinage that you created. So Sanjay, I just want to dig deeper into the importance of brand in B2B, right? In categories like cement, steel, construction, and construction chemicals as such, many people assume that branding actually doesn't matter. Do you also believe that? What's been your experience?
No, branding definitely matters a lot,
Okay.
because only thing is in how you brand your product, because like Mapai or any other good multinationals, they generally work on a technology, and technology has to be sold or told to the end user,
Right.
because every financial year or every year we see new developments coming into the country. So once these new technologies are seen or practically displayed and branded and shown to the end user, it is always beneficial for the, not only for the like supplier but also for the country also. Otherwise what happens is, most of the now people globally know what is happening. They've been traveling, they go to the lot of international shows,
Right.
they learn the technology from there, and then they come back to India and ask those technology. So when you have this technology, whether it is related to reducing the cement, increase or reducing the carbon, or whether you are making a new structures, some finishes, why not put it and why not show it to the country? You have that technology, and otherwise they will end up in using some of the other products, and then the technology, it's for your country,
Right.
and you have to show it. So it matters a lot.
Right.
And secondly, ultimately, the revenue also generates from the specialized business only.
True. Right.
Yes.
Do you believe that strong brands reduce risk for the decision maker, the buyer of your product?
I would put it in another way, strong brand for the strong technology definitely will reduce the risk for the buyers and increase the revenue for the suppliers.
Okay. Have you seen cases where better products have lost out on deals or projects to better brands?
Somewhere, yes, but most of the time, the better products have always been appreciated and liked. But if they have lost, not on the brands, they must have lost on the extreme high prices. Like I would give a typical example of Mumbai airport. They have used the products from Mapei, expensive products, imported from Italy when the local products were available, because that was one of the first, like I would say, state of the art airport made in India.
Right.
So this Terminal 2. So they have used the entire Mapei products for the tiles and the water bodies and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like a high price as compared to the, but they were trusting the brand, and they wanted a good technology.
Yeah.
But after that, now the technology has localized so much. Now everybody has become a brand in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in my experience, I've seen that there are a lot of good products out there, but because they feel that my product is so good and so strong, it will sell on its own. But many of these product owners or product manufacturers do not do outreach programs, right? Or do not do brand building around the product and no storytelling, and therefore the decision maker is many a time not aware of this good product that is there, right? And even if that good product is presented to them, they feel that, oh, this product is, I've never heard of it. I would rather go with somebody who's more heard, known, seen, experienced, So that is what I was trying to allude to. Have you, in your experience, felt this difference?
No, I would say that if product is good, if you give a low price, and if you give a better credit, then I think we don't need people to sell it. It can be sold through e-commerce very easily.
Right.
I don't need a brand. I know if I make a low price, I make a good product, but that is not going to help any of the organization.
Right.
You make a good product, you have to sell the technology, you have to support the technology, you have to apply the technology, and you need a person to sell that technology. Simply by sitting and making a product and keeping it and just putting it on a newspaper will not sell the product.
Right.
Otherwise, manpower is not required. Better we should sit at home.
Okay. Coming to innovation and technology, you spoke about innovation, so Mapei is known globally, for research and innovation that it does, right? How important is R&D in staying competitive in your industry?
R&D plays a very important role, and we are proud that we spend 5% of our revenue into the R&D and we have got a big R&D center in Milan, and then we have a R&D center for the APAC region. And the best thing is that in R&D, it's not like, because when you go globally, it aggregates temperature changes in every part of the world.
Right.
A product made in Europe cannot be sold in India because the temperature goes from say 5 degree to 30 degree or
True.
32 degree. Here the temperature varies in Himalayas at 12 degrees, and if you go in the south it goes up to 50 degree also.
Yeah.
So there the R&D plays a very important, and this we faced initial problem when we launched 15 years back in India. So we have to categorize the product, develop the product as per Indian condition, and the product got tested by our R&D lab in Milan, then tested by R&D center in India, and then finally we launched the product. And there it plays a very, because ultimately you also launch a product which basically has satisfied the local needs. You cannot sell a product like it's an internationally well accepted product, just come and sell it off. Because
Right.
it's not a
Plug and play.
Yeah. Even the power is 120 volts there, and we are 240 volts. So
Yeah.
we have to adjust to the local condition.
True. Yeah. So tell me, have you seen innovation translated to real benefits for contractors and infrastructure providers?
Yes,
Any specific use case examples that you can give?
like in bullet train and this Warsaw Bandra sea link project, which has been a like they want as a product which was specifically to go under the sea. So there we were almost worked for a year to develop a product for that particular project, and they are quite satisfied. And then we are doing a lot of strategic projects in India where, like the I cannot define those project. There they cannot even have a drop of, not drop even a seepage also into the, because there are a lot of sensitive equipments are there.
Okay.
So they respect Mapei. They have tested that technology from last 10 years and they make structures for 100 years.
Right.
So there the R&D has played a very important, the product was developed for that. And then Mumbai airport is a typical example. Trust was the one thing that believed in it, and they bought a product which was more price and then used in the Mumbai. And practically it was used before the Mapei was launched in India.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We were not there, but product was being applied here.
Right.
Yes.
So you are saying that the market really rewards innovation
It really rewards
and
innovation.
understands what innovation
And this
impacts.
innovation started from the master builders. Then Seco also has been quite innovative. All these multinationals has been quite innovation in this. Only thing is the innovation has to be like modified and improved with the conditions, because otherwise the competition will take your piece of cake.
Right. What trends do you think will shape the next decade of construction material in India?
India is going through a tremendous development change. It's like the global favorite. It's a continent in a continent itself.
Right.
I don't call it as a country, I call it as a continent, because I've handled India, and even Uttar Pradesh, a state, is much bigger than any country
True.
in the Europe.
Yeah.
And the kind of infrastructure they are going, it's like, and if you see any of the state tunnels, if you saw buildings, housing sector, everywhere it's like a growth. Still, if I see the largest percentage share of the housing worldwide where people own their houses is 89%, I think in USA. India has still not reached that level. So to make houses available for everybody, we need houses construction. Second thing is to make roads for everybody, we need construction. And to make our defense strong, we need a lot of underground structures connecting to the, like if you go to north part of India, connecting to the China and Tibet, here go to Arunachal Pradesh.
Yeah.
So I think in next couple of years, we have to have more than 3,000 kilometers of tunneling. So they will all need construction chemicals to be used.
Right.
Yes.
So how do you see Mapei evolving along with this evolving change in infrastructure in India?
We have got 3 plants. 4th plant is under construction.
Right.
Can bring the entire geographical, because as I told, it's a continent in its continent. One plant will not, if I put a plant in south, it is not going to commute to the entire country.
Right.
4th, then we are looking forward to the another 2 plants in the central part of India and maybe some southeast part of India. So once we are geographically connected, then it's like, and it is the state of the art plants which we will be constructing across the country, because now Bhutan can be very easily catered from the east plant, and Bhutan is the country where India and Bhutan have got a very good relations.
Good relationships.
And fortunately, they are a very quality-oriented hydroelectric country, and they are like one of the developers in this. Then comes, I would say, east part of India, north part of India, or everything where we need products to be sold. So Mapei is, first thing is we are coming up with R&D center. We already have a R&D center in Mumbai. We have around 4 plants plus 2 in pipeline, 6 plants, and then we have got a different business unit, because we are in a multi-product organization, sports flooring, then we are into admixtures for concrete, we are into adhesives, and we are very specialized in tunneling and mining. So we have got around 5,000 products. Out of that, maybe we are manufacturing 50% of the products in India. So once these products are there, we are able to cater to the demands of the country. But still, I would say that to meet the demand, still India, anybody who comes with a entrepreneurship will be able to eat the piece of the cake, because India is going through a total global change.
Right. So, with all these opportunities that are in front of you, what do you think Mapei India will contribute to the overall revenues of international?
Okay, at presently we are around number 2 in Asia Pacific,
Okay.
and in certain business segments we are number 2 and 3. But overall revenue, still USA is stronger,
Okay.
and we are around 3 to 4%. But we plan to reach in another 7-8 years around 10%.
10% of overall contribution
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
international.
Yes, yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Because we have grown at a CAGR of around 30%.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 15 years, fastest growing construction chemical company in India.
Okay. So led Mapei for 15 years
Yes,
almost now,
yes.
correct? What leadership lessons have you learnt and what has stayed with you in these 15 years?
Okay, it's a good thing. Like 15 years back when I joined Mapei, fortunately, all the 3 organizations where I've worked in my last 30 years, it was like a new organization in India.
Right.
When I joined Master Builders, I was the 3rd person.
So you joined Mapei when it just started off.
When
It
started
was a startup.
Yeah, startup.
Yep.
When I
Okay.
joined Sika, it was coming from Sika Qualcrete to Sika India.
Okay.
So total change. When I joined Mapei, they don't have in plant. Their first plant was under construction. So I was 4th person to join after the finance, my MD and then after that, what I thought, it was a one business unit which I was handling was tunneling and mining, and that it grew very, like we put a brand, now it is considered one of the brand in tunneling and mining. Then first thing was retaining the people, retaining the talent. That as a leader I thought, because I took good talent and retained them. Because what happens is generally I find that people are good, but if the mentor has not taught them properly, it generally becomes a problem for
Right.
them. People don't leave because of salaries. Okay, salary is one of the motivation, but they leave because the environment, talent. So talent management and talent retaining is a big issue, and nowadays India is going through it.
Right.
Second thing is training. Training people to the new technologies, exposure to the international, and making them sit in front of people, giving them independence, supporting their decisions, whether it is wrong or right. But as a leader, you have to be supportive to your team members. So that is, and then generally making a succession plan always helps you in making and taking you to the next level and making your team to the next level also.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the what thing, and Mapei has a family culture in the COVID times also, in the weak times also, when the global, Mapei has been always very supportive in that.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
What advice would you give young talent that wants to get into construction material business?
Okay. You must have seen IPL
Yeah.
on the cricket T20,
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
won.
Right.
Most of the matches, you know why we won?
Hmm.
Because of the stretch. The first catch which India won in the World Cup was by Akshar Patel, or I think Ishan Kishan. He stretched himself and got a very nice catch. So most youngsters should stretch themselves. Ultimately, the things comes on its way. So that's what I see, that people generally think that they want to become a millionaire in a day or so, but once you get into the industry, the money automatically flows. They stretch themselves, you become a passionate about your job. There is no end. And the way India is growing, you have immense opportunities to grow yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So one other question, if you had to rebuild Mapei today, forget about a 15 years association, what would you do differently today which you have not done in the past 15 years?
Okay. Yeah. Change is always, I would said earlier, change is always required. You cannot run an organization which you run 15 years back, 5 years back. You have to change your team approach as the market changes. Earlier the market was slow, you could have relaxed, in changing the product.
Hmm.
People have to be very aggressive, prompt in making the decisions. Right or wrong, it depends, but you have to. Now, everything cannot be on the paper. It has to be practically on the ground. You earlier used to happen like people used to go to the customers, convince them. Now the customer is himself so intelligent that he has learned about you and your products through Google or AI. He knows everything. So you have to act 1% smarter than him. That, and then I think if the relation is good, he likes your face. He likes your product also. Simple. If you go to buy a TV in a normal distributor shop, he shows you a Samsung, a LG or Sony.
Right.
He can convince you within 5 minutes with the features and all that. Same is like you have to be practically on the field. You cannot sit on the office on a AI. And one thing good about civil engineering is AI can make things on papers, but a civil engineering can make bricks which can break the computer. I can throw my brick onto the computer and break it off.
Right. So you said you have to be 1% smarter. How do you define that 1%? What is that 1%?
1% smarter means, like, first is you should know what your competitor product has or competitor technology has. You should have a counter example of that competitor. Second thing is, when you meet any of the end user, you should have a brief astrological knowledge about his likes and dislikes. You should talk what he wants. You should not talk what you want. Because generally people are very fascinated if you generally talk about good things about themselves. This really makes you sit. First 10 minutes, let's not talk about business. Let's talk about some good things, relations, 10, 15. Automatically business comes.
Okay.
So that's the way generally we have been doing. And lastly, with the change, what is coming through, we should have a young team, though it's nowadays very difficult because young people are more prone to this sitting on the computer and getting the things. But practically doing things side is not that easy. But the passionate thing about the job is that you tend to visit beautiful sites in the country where people spend fortunes. We don't spend, we are really told to go there, like going to Kashmir, going to Siliguri, going to Bhutan, Nepal. It's
Part of your day job.
It's a part of a day job. Tourist places,
Right.
so you should be passionate about traveling, talking to the customers, knowing about themselves, and then you make good relations with the customers.
Interesting. So what is the biggest misconception that companies have about building a brand in technical industries? And how would you want to correct that?
People still think that they have a technology that can be sold very fast, that as we were discussing earlier. But brand plays a, because that's what Fosrock has done. I would be very candid on that. Fosrock built a brand GP2. It still sells like a Colgate or a Pepsi or a Coke. And that brand still is like, when you go to, people say any equivalent product of this. Like when you go to any normal like grocery shop, you want a cold drink, the first thing in mind, let me get a Coke.
Right.
Whether you buy a Pepsi or Thumbs Up or whatever, but your first preference is Coke. So that's a brand which has been created. So technology is there, but okay, equivalent to that technology, if something is there, please give it. So brand is a very important thing.
Okay. If a company wants to become a category leader today in the construction and chemical business, where should they start?
There are two ways to start. First thing is, they should practically think, first 2 years, at present situation, they should not think of generating any profitability, getting them share in the market. Once the taste develops with the people, they will automatically come and buy. Whether they start selling admixtures, but they should start with the high-end products. Because in India, the geographical reach is so big, if you sell a low-value product, the cost of transportation becomes so high that you are unnecessarily putting 80% of your transportation cost into the logistics. So it's better to sell high-end products with a specific. There you can still have some money revenue sales, but at least you can have some good references also. Then once then slowly and slowly, and or otherwise you can start, because there are a lot of original equipment manufacturers, OEMs available. You can outsource, but most of the multinationals preferably want to sell their brand instead of putting a white labeling kind of thing.
Right. So, Sanjay, I just want to ask you one question. You mentioned about the fact that Mapei was part of T2 Airport, the Bandarwali Sea Link, and various other such iconic projects, right? How does a prospective buyer get to know about Mapei and the fact that Mapei has been a part of these iconic projects?
Okay, like Terminal 2, it is basically the L&D which was interested. They Googled it, and that time the technology was not so much. They Googled it and they directly contacted, and we were not there. But talking about the tunnel like Udhampur Srinagar, which is now the the connectivity, and the railway line between Rishikesh and Karan or Versova, these are the projects which Mapei has built over time. The relationships, because most of the people, when we started, like we were interacting with them, they were quite happy with the services of the company, and post services also, like the problem solving. It was not a problem that being a civil engineer, you are only, I am a salesman, I will only sell this product. Beyond this, it's your problem. You go there as a civil engineer.
Right.
You can talk about anything. Okay, construction chemical is a part of the revenue because ultimately you are working for a business. But you talk about civil engineering also. If there is a problem in the concrete structure, you have a discussion. So they think that whenever a customer is in a problem, the guy is there to hold my hands and take me to at least some solutions.
Got it.
So these kind of things like Statue of Unity, or recently Modi ji inaugurated this Sonmarg tunnel, which is in Kashmir, which is, and Zojila tunnel, which is one of the biggest tunnels. So there we don't need to sell now. Now we don't need to sell the brand. Now customer calls us, but in this call we can sell a new technology, and we can convince them with the technology. So there comes the picture. Earlier we were selling ourselves, but now the brand is aware, but how to push that brand into new technology, that comes into the picture.
Okay. What is the kind of outreach program that you do to capture the attention of your prospective buyers?
Okay, now we generally have regular seminars with the technical institutes, engineering institutes, and then we do a skilled program with lot of execution agencies. Like we have got applicators, we train their people, we tell them about machines which are locally available and international. Then we have a tie-up with the machine manufacturers. We have tie-up with the tile manufacturers, because when you go to a big projects, how to lay the tiles, because now the size of tiles has increased. So how to put the adhesives at the back of the tile, the waterproofing, how it has to be done.
Right.
Now the grouting, there is a water leakage, how it has to be done. Then our specialized team of application goes with the equipments. We have got a full-fledged demo centers in all the. We have a Mapei Academy, which keeps on calling people from the industry, calling from the infrastructure. People go and visit our factories. We have got a excellence center where we have made a showpiece of lot of our products, so that people can see practically, and feeling from the hand is much better as compared to just talking on the papers and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So Sanjay, interesting talking to you. Your journey at Mapei almost reflects the evolution of an entire industry and also the evolution of India, right? Just about the time you joined Mapei is when I think the Indian infrastructure economy opened up.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
So it's almost been hand to hand, right? So from basic materials to advanced construction technologies, the industry has moved far beyond just simple products to using evolved technology solutions, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what I took out from talking to you was that Mapei is at the center of this evolution of infrastructure in India, and you're coming across as a full solutions provider rather
Yes.
than a product
Yeah.
supplier.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, we are a solution provider. We don't call as a product supplier.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So anything you would like to add to for the benefit of our viewers? Anything you would like to say?
Yeah, generally, I would like to say that uh, people generally talk, because we are into the heritage structures also. People generally talk about that Taj Mahal is still standing from last so many years, which was built. But fortunately, it was not built on a tender. It was built because Shah Jahan wanted the best company to build it.
Right.
So still it is standing. So at least we should respect civil engineering, and a good contractor generally makes a good structures, who has got a good hands, good team, and he would love his structure to stand for 100 years.
Good structure, good team, and MAPE behind them.
And Mapei behind them. Yes, and a good product behind them to
Right.
support that structure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.